Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry about the long wait between videos. There's been some family issues that had to be dealt with along with the world shutting down thanks to Corona. We are back now. We're not going to be doing one a day because we still have family matters that have to be dealt with, and those take precedence. In the meantime though, there's a few things that I need to do, and I think it gives me a great opportunity to teach you guys some. So one of the things I need to do is practice with charcoal, or I'm sorry, coal. I desperately need to figure out how to properly forge with coal, which means I need a coal forge. So that's what I'm building today. And I figure since I'm going to build a coal forge, one of my biggest pet peeves is people saying that it costs too much to start blacksmithing. You need 3 items to start blacksmithing. You need a hammer, you need an anvil, and you need a forge. Now for a hammer, I really do recommend picking up a blacksmith's rounding hammer, or at the very least a crossbeam hammer. But you can use just a regular claw hammer, so you can get that for nothing. For a forge, today I'm going to show you how to build a coal forge for next to nothing. In fact, I'm going to spend nothing to build mine. I've decided to make it a little bit more difficult for me and show you guys how easy it can be, that I will use only scrap materials. Now, as a blacksmith, I probably have more scrap than most of you. But for the framing, I'm just going to use wood. You can get that for free from pallets. I will provide a link to plans for a forge. I believe the size dimension for those plans calls for 24 by 24 by 8 inches deep. Because I'm using scrap, I'm not going to be building it to that size. I'm probably going to build 6 inches deep because I believe a 2x6 is the biggest scrap wood I have laying around. And I have some old frames that I will probably use for the base that will make its size a little different than 24 by 24. But the idea is the same. I do recommend you follow the plans specifically. I know I'm not. It is what it is. This is a test run, more or less, to see how my neighbors are going to deal with the coal forge, so I don't want to build something super in-depth or expensive in case I can't use it here. So the first thing I have to do is build up a box. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go build that box and show it to you. Alright? Okay everyone, here it is. It's nothing but a box. The one thing you'll notice, I did cut an access hole there on the bottom of the box. That is for this. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce the actual word for that. That is the tube that will carry oxygen into the fire. Now, something I want to point out to you, this is just an old leg to, I think, a swimming pool frame. The reason I'm going to use this, if you'll notice here at the end, there's rust. There's an old saying from blacksmiths, in rust we trust. The reason for that is if it doesn't rust and you don't know why it doesn't, it has no reason going anywhere near your fire because it can release chemicals that will kill you. So because that is rusting, I know it is safe to use. I'll go ahead and clean off some of this paint so that it's not going to burn away and cut the pipe where I need it. Now you can use pretty much any pipe. The bigger diameter, the better, because you want plenty of airflow. If you don't have something laying around that you can use in place of that, look into getting some pipe from any salvage yard. You'll be able to get it for minimal money, probably under $5. So I'm going to go ahead, clean that up, cut it to shape, and we'll go on to the next part. Okay, so you can see we've moved outdoors. Now what I'm doing here is just getting a look for how this is going to set up. We're going to discuss this air pipe for a minute. So you want to have about 2 inches of dirt down here. This brick lets me see about where it'll sit. So this is where the bottom of my fire pit's going to be. Now, with your air pipe, I've seen several designs for JABOD forges where it will come in like this. That is a horrific idea, guys. this will become a chimney as soon as the fire goes out, or as soon as you're no longer forcing air through it, which means all of those toxic gases and flammable gases from your fire are going to come up and out of your air supply and hit your blower probably and ignite. It's a bad idea. You want to keep it level or with a slight raise. That's why we have that hole cut in our box. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling this in with dirt. Alright, so we have the box about halfway filled in. I've stopped for the moment because now is the time when we have to put in a Hearthstone. I'm just going to use some old fire brick and stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like. You can use rocks just as easily, and if you don't have a good source for dirt or rocks, go take a walk by your local river. They're free. Alright, I'm going to get the Hearthstones put in and show you what that looks like, and then get the rest of the dirt filled in. Okay folks, it's that simple. My air tube stops somewhere about here, and then these Hearthstones just protect and keep the pipe back some so it doesn't get as much heat, and keeps the dirt from falling in and choking off my airflow. So I'm going to get this the rest of the way filled in and show it to you. Okay everybody, it is all built and finished. I have some wood in there for a test fire to make sure it works. For the air supply, I'm just using a cheap $10 blower from any big box store. If it going straight into the pipe supplies too much air, all I have to do is angle it a bit and it'll provide less. So we're going to get this fired up and make sure it works. Alright, we've got a nice little fire going. Let's see what happens when we give it some air. That is entirely too much air. Seems to be supplying airflow to it just fine. That is more than enough airflow. And if I get coal in there and going, it'll work. So there you go guys. I spent no money and built a functioning forge. You can use a claw hammer. The last step is an anvil. We'll take care of that in our next video.